Hello, everyone. I want to say good morning to you, good afternoon to you, depending on where you are watching and participating from. Today is the second day of our international conference, and I welcome all of you here present, participants, speakers, and our keynote speakers. Without a waste of time, I want to welcome the organizers of this conference and all the speakers for today, particularly one of the board members of the Transhumanists who will be speaking to us right now. So please, Marlene Adams, you are welcome today to our conference, and we are eager to listen to your words.
Good morning, good morning. Sound check, testing 1, testing 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Perfect. Good morning, friends, colleagues, and fellow travelers into the future. My name is Marlon Adams. I am a founding member of the Transhumanist Africa organization and festival director of our first artificial intelligence short film festival. Our theme, Africa in 50 years, driven by frontier technologies. So it is an honor to be here at the second international conference on biotechnology, human enhancement, and African ethics. This gathering is not about theory alone. It's about what we do next. It's about Africa's seat at the table of tomorrow. Frontier technologies, genetics, robotics, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnologies are rewiring human capacity. The African question is simple. Will we apply them to our own challenges or let the technology decide our fate? Our perspective here at Transhumanist Africa is defined by curiosity and boldness. We are eager to experiment. We want to apply technology where it matters most. State-of-the-art water, sewage, and electricity grids, transportation systems that connect instead of divide, public health and education that serves all our people. These are not luxuries. They are the foundations of prosperity. The same foundations that built America's middle class after World War II. And let's be very clear. Africa has the talent. Our young innovators are already building esports platforms, fintech solutions, biotech startups. They don't wait for permission. With the right tools and freedom, their ingenuity will transform our cities, our economies, and our daily lives. The real work is reconciliation, blending customary and formal systems, balancing indigenous wisdom with modern governance, turning land and law into engines of growth. When we do that, Africa doesn't just participate in the global future. Africa can help define it. We believe one thing above all: empower the people, and prosperity will follow. Not as a gift, not as charity, but as the inevitable result of curiosity, discipline, and commitment to a better future for Africa and the world. Africa is not waiting to be invited into tomorrow. Africa is not standing on the margins of history. Africa is building the future and building it on terms that will make a better world. Thank you very much. And please Go to transhumanistafrica.org and find out more about our short film festival that's challenging Africans to imagine Africa they want to see. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Marlin, for that provocative opening of the conference that Africa is building the future. I mean, during the question and answer, maybe we'll discuss deeply into that. I hope you'll still be around to respond to some of those questions. Meanwhile, I call on our first speaker for the day. Please make sure that your audio is always off. Only when you are called up to speak, maybe you have a question or comment. Otherwise, please keep your background quiet and make sure that your audio is always off. So with that, let me call on our first speaker for the day. And remember that the profiles of the speakers will be posted on the chat. So we'll not be reciting profiles here. So when you want to know about a speaker, please check on what is posted on the platform. So please help me to welcome Dr. Amara. Dr. Amara Esther Chimakonam of the University of Port Harare, South Africa. She'll be talking to us on the question of will transhumanism lead to technologized personhood. Please, Amara Chimakonam, you have the floor.
I'm coming. I'm trying to turn on my video. So, good morning, everyone. The first speaker today was supposed to be Dr. Bambele, but should I go on, Bambele? Am I allowed to do so?
Yeah, I think that's not the problem.
Okay.
I can.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, it was a failure from my side.
Yeah. So thank you for this introduction. My name once again is Dr. Amara Esther Chimakonam. I am a member of the Conversational School of Philosophy. I noticed I was introduced as being affiliated with Fort Hare. My postdoc there just finished last month. So today I'll be speaking on will transhumanism lead to technologized personhood. My aim in this lecture is to reply to Fayeme's, Rihanna's, and Negedu's criticisms of my concept of technologized personhood. I am very grateful for their critical engagement, and I hope that my responses today will extend the frontiers of transhumanism in Africa. So to attain my aim, I have 3 objectives, which will constitute the 3 parts of my lecture today. So the following are my objectives. Number 1, to present an overview of technologized personhood. Secondly, to reply to Fayeme's and Rihanna's criticisms. And lastly, to address some of the concerns that Negedus raised on the possibility of technologized personhood in Africa. So I'll be starting with my first objective here. I coined the concept of technologized personhood in my 2021 paper titled Transhumanism in Africa, a conversation with Fayemi on his Afro-futuristic account of personhood. In this paper, I construed technologized personhood as a techno-scientific engineering of personhood through radical and irreversible enhancement of human moral capacities. I went ahead to contrast technologized personhood and normative personhood as put forth by Ifeanyi Menkiti in his book chapter titled Person and Community in African Traditional Thought. According to Menkiti, it is by incorporating into the community and one complying to relevant social norms, among other things, that one becomes a person. He points out that personhood involves a long process of striving, as well as individuals having the moral choice to decide whether to attain personhood or not. From this, I claimed that technologized personhood would not, eliminate this moral choice, because those that are morally enhanced automatically attains personhood by complying to relevant social norms. I then concluded that morally enhanced individuals would attain technologized personhood and not normative personhood. And this brings me to the second objective of my talk. In his forthcoming book chapter, Can Morally Enhanced Individuals Attain Personhood Within the African Philosophical Context?, Fayemi takes issues with my concept of technologized personhood from Menkiti's standpoint. According to Fayemi, Menkiti's account of normative personhood is strongly rooted in communal relationship. So Fayemi draws from this that those that are morally enhanced would fulfill this communal relationship condition, thereby giving them the opportunity to attain personhood, although he claims that they will not attain full personhood, but partial personhood, because personhood within Menkiti's context involves other things like rituals and kinship that those that are morally enhanced might not necessarily fulfill. But things started getting quite interesting at this point when Fayemi now insists that we should move beyond Menkiti's account of normative personhood to an Afro-futuristic account of personhood that transcends the religious and cultural understanding of personhood as seen in Menkiti's account. This Afrofuturistic account of normative account of personhood, I mean to say, incorporates the techno-scientific engineering of personhood that would ensure that morally enhanced individuals attain full personhood. It will also bring about a post-human future in Africa. I'm going to say more on this during the Q&A. However, it seems like Fayemi's Afrofuturistic account of personhood is leaving us with two options here. It is either we accept moral enhancement or we do not. Remember that if we accept to morally enhance ourselves, there is no going back. We might think that we have nothing to lose to morally enhance ourselves. It is a great thing for us to do so. As Fayemi has pointed out, that if we morally enhance ourselves, we will be better incorporated into the communal relationship and even contribute to the common good. But in reality, it's still not clear whether moral enhancement technologies would bring about the expected positive outcomes. Moral enhancement technologies, for example, might function, and those who pass through it might never have to act morally again. This thin line, is what I referred to in one of my essays on moral enhancement and freedom of choice as devil enhancement. Now, the key question at this point is, are we so certain about moral enhancement technologies to make such irreversible decision? Furthermore, Fayemi and Rihanna claim that moral enhancement would not eliminate moral choice. Because of time, I will focus on Rihanna's position here. Coming from the Ubuntu perspective, that is based on harmonious communal relationship, Rihanna argues that moral enhancement will increase the likelihood of us maintaining a harmonious relationship in the community. She agrees with my position in one of my book chapters titled Afro-communitarianism and transhumanism, that personhood within Menkiti's accounts involves interaction of different elements such as psychological, religious, social, biological, genetics, and rest of them, which could not be reduced to biology alone. But things started getting tricky when Rihanna concludes that these different elements make it possible for those that are morally enhanced to retain moral choice, in the sense that an enhancement in one of these elements does not entail enhancement in all the elements. I am very, very happy that Rihanna acknowledged the fact that personhood involves interaction of different elements which could not be reduced to biology or gene alone. But the important thing here is not whether personhood involves these elements, because they are already included in the journey towards personhood. The fundamental problem is whether moral enhancement truncates this journey towards personhood, which moral choice is central. Now, if those that are morally enhanced automatically attains personhood by conforming to relevant social norms, then they lack moral choice because they cannot decide not to comply. They cannot fail at personhood. I think I'll be leaving it at this point and ask the question, should we now abandon technologized personhood altogether, since Africa has pressing issues like corruption, hunger, and poverty that's currently confronting Africans? And this brings me to the last objective of my lecture. According to Negedu, transhumanism has no practical relevance in Africa, since it cannot really solve some of the issues that Africa is confronting. I will not deal with that, since it is left for those that imagine a post-human future in Africa to do so. But I will take issue with the conclusion that Negedu draws from this, which is that transhumanism could be a dialogue in the West and not in Africa. I really find this very problematic. I'm wrapping up soon.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I really find this very problematic because it undermines the possibility of a transhumanist future. This possibility increases every day with the rapid development in science and technology. What this possibility shows is the urgency for a critical scholarship on transhumanism in Africa. If we are, to stay aloof as Negedu wants us to, then when transhumanism finally becomes a possibility, when that transhumanist future finally arrives, Africa will play catch up. We will end up dealing with transhumanism and moral enhancement made in Europe, transhumanism that is whitewashed in the West. So for us to contribute to the discourse of moral enhancement, especially now it is still at its infancy, at its speculative stage, there is a need for us to add the African voice. There is a need for us to contribute the African aspects, values to the discourse of transhumanism. I think I'll be stopping at this point. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Amara, for that intensive discussion. That is incredible. That is amazing. Technologized personhood, and for that particular definition.